Ukraine penetrate Russian flanks and retake a town. A major Russian flanking operation collapsed under pressure, leaving their forces overextended and vulnerable across a critical stretch of the front. With the opportunity door opened, Ukrainian troops immediately took the initiative and launched a decisive attack to seize another town. Ukrainian troops had successfully retaken Ridkodub, using drone reconnaissance and maneuver warfare to penetrate the Russian defenses. Their goals were not just to capture ground, but to disrupt Russian attempts to re-establish control in this exposed corner of the Donetsk region. Russian forces attempted to outflank the Ukrainian troops, designed to bypass the new Ukrainian positions and strike their rear. Russian troops were deployed from multiple directions, namely from the west of Zelenia Dolina and from the south, with the intention of undermining Ukraine's hold on Ridkodub. But the plan had several fatal flaws, because the distance between Russian staging areas and Ukrainian positions meant that the attacking units had to cross long stretches of open terrain. The lack of forested cover and the extensive Ukrainian drone presence made concealment virtually impossible. By the time Russian infantry began advancing, their movement had already been detected. Ukrainian FPV drones and munition drops intercepted the assault columns before they reached the contact line. Multiple video footages show infantry stranded in open fields, being eliminated one by one. Other groups tried to crawl forward under sporadic artillery support, but persistent drone observation made progress impossible, and Ukrainian fire control dismantled the flanking effort before it could get close. Ukrainian commanders had noted that Russia's local reserves respond slowly to changes in frontline dynamics, sometimes taking days to adapt. The delay proved decisive because Ukrainian forces had already consolidated their control over Ridkodub and anticipated the counterattack, so when it came, they were fully prepared, inflicting heavy Russian losses for no territorial gain. Since the Russian push failed, many attackers were killed before reaching Ukrainian lines, leaving the Russian front lines undermanned, overstretched, and tactically exposed. Many of the soldiers involved were likely wounded during the failed assault, and because of Ukraine's persistent fire control in the area, evacuation was nearly impossible. It is already difficult for Russian units to rotate fresh troops into the zone without taking losses. Doing so with wounded troops under pressure makes restoring control over the front even harder. That is why Ukrainian forces immediately seized the opportunity, and units from the 3rd Army Corps launched a coordinated assault on Novomikhailivka. The push targeted exposed flanks left vulnerable after the failed Russian counterattacks at Ridkodub. Ukrainian drones were first used to clear out forward Russian positions and mark artillery targets, softening the defenses before the main attacks.
Дивіться, як я роблю.
The armored column then moved in from two sides, avoiding main roads and using minor tree lines for cover as it approached the town perimeter. Once inside Novomikhailivka, the assault accelerated, Bradleys and lighter vehicles advanced block by block, while infantry squads flushed out Russian groups hiding in damaged homes and tree lines. Dozens of guided drone attacks struck entrenched Russian positions in the lead-up, and radio intercepts indicate the garrison had already requested reinforcements before the assault even began. HIMARS strikes tank convoy advancing on Pokrovsk. The paratroopers of the 79th Air Assault Brigade, with support from HIMARS, destroyed a convoy of Russian armored vehicles advancing from a rear area toward Pokrovsk. Footage of the combat operation was released by operators of the Ivan Franko Group, part of the 79th Air Assault Brigade. On the evening of August 28th, the unit's aerial reconnaissance detected the movement of a Russian assault convoy about 10 kilometers deep in enemy rear territory. The convoy was moving out from the village of Prores toward Malinivka, located east of Pokrovsk. The mechanized convoy consisted of 7 vehicles, including tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, as well as up to 100 infantrymen, some of whom were moving on motorcycles. Following target designation by the operators, the convoy was struck by a HIMARS rocket while on the move. After the strike, operators from the Ivan Franko Group joined the attack on the disorganized group using FPV drones. During the final stage, as abandoned vehicles were being finished off, the rocket system delivered another strike, completing the operation. The paratroopers reported that through joint efforts, all of the armored vehicles in the assault group had been destroyed and at least 50 Russian soldiers neutralized. They suggested that the enemy group might have belonged to a unit of the Russian military force recently redeployed to the Donetsk region from Russia's Kursk region, including the 155th Guards Naval Infantry Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces. The appearance of units from another sector near Pokrovsk could explain the use of a large number of armored vehicles in an area where, for a long time, Russian forces had been relying exclusively on small infantry groups to minimize losses from drones.